everybody, this is Sarah Harnish. I'm a Young Living Diamond, and I'm the author of Game Plan and Ignite and Fearless and Unstuck, how to talk to humans and get them to respond to you. And this is the second day of Unstuck Boot Camp. And what better thing to do in the middle of a cold January than hang out together and study and get better at this business that we call network marketing. So for those of you masochists that survived the first night, I promise I'm not going to go that long tonight. But thank you for hopping on for a second night. We're going to start digging in a little bit deeper than we did last night. I'm so grateful for you. Thanks also for playing my games. We've been having a lot of fun the last 24 hours, taking photos, doing selfies, showing me your homework. I'm really keeping you guys busy, running all over the place. But we're giving away stuff every single day, the entire 20 days of boot camp. Real quick, before I jump in, I just want to show you where you can find the videos because we have an amazing web team working behind the scenes. They work all day long getting the website ready for you every single night. So let me just flip my camera around. When you go to oilabilityteam.com, that's my website, you'll see the Unstuck Bootcamp right up on the top. It tells you exactly what days we're going to be training. So all the ones that are highlighted, you'll see those are the days you're training, Monday through Friday, 6th to 10th, 13th to 17th, 20th to 24th, 27th to 31st. Of course, those of you that are popping out a little bit later, not watching this live, you're not going to adhere to that schedule, but I'm running it over 20 days and giving you guys the weekends off. If you put a backslash on oilabilityteam.com, it'll take you right to the Unstuck page, or you can click on this graphic, or you can go to share, and there's a whole button now for Unstuck. So if you click on Unstuck, it's just going to show you all of the things on here. It shows you how to hop on the Facebook page, how to find books and workbooks. It shows you the beginning of what the book looks like, so you can see the different table of contents, see if this is your jam, if it's something you want your leaders to be studying. And then right underneath, you'll see Boot Camp, which is toward the bottom of the page. But each day as we do boot camp, these days are going to go live. So we already did day 1. It tells you we did chapters 1 and 2. If you click on it, you'll see right there the video. We had over 20,000 people on last night, which is crazy. Doesn't it just pick the most amazing faces whenever you do Facebook videos? And then it'll tell you what the oil of the night was, one of the quotes of the night, what we're covering, and how boot camp works. So it's a really nice landing page. If you want to share with your teams, all you got to do is right click on the link, and you can put it right on your team pages, and it's very easy to find. So again, you're just going to go to share and Unstuck, and it'll take you right to the Unstuck page, and all the freebies and everything are here. We haven't touched on this yet, but underneath are going to be all the free PowerPoints and the graphics and countdown calendars and all sorts of stuff. Doesn't cost you anything. It's just free resources. So this is where you're going to go to find the videos. If you miss one, or if you want to share it with your team the next day, or maybe all your leaders didn't get on and you really, really wanted them to hear that video, you can go grab it right off of the Unstuck page, and it's completely free. Okay? So, oil of the night. I told you I'm determined to do these things in 20 minutes, so I'm 2 minutes down. I'm going to fly through very, very quickly, but I just love that connecting time with you. And you know, each of you guys are going to study boot camp totally differently. Some of you, you're like geniuses with electronic books, and you snagged your Kindle book and you're just flying through it, and you know you're doing great. Some of you are like me, you got to mark up your books and scribble all over them and handwrite in the columns and all of that, and so you're just doing great with the book. Some of you really get a lot out of the workbooks and the action steps and how to apply some of this knowledge, and so I saw you guys with your workbooks today. Some of you are just killing it filling out those sheets. They're going deep. They're going really, really deep. The assignment last night was pretty intense. And then some of you just thrive off of live videos and you love that connectivity. So whatever your way of learning is, you're going to get it all. And I'm really excited to say that I think by Saturday we should be uploading the Audible book to Audible, which means the entire 450-page book is going to be available for you to be able to listen to. And so if you're an auditory learner, if you don't have a lot of time to read a really big book, you can listen to it while you're driving around, while you're doing dishes. That is like the new form of media is podcasting. And this allows you to listen through your cell phone. So Apple iTunes, Google Play, Audible, it'll be on all of those formats very, very soon. Once we submit it, it's usually a couple weeks to get it up. But 4 months, I've been recording that book in a studio, and I'm really excited to say that we're in the very last phases of editing and should have it up pretty quickly, okay? All right. Let's jump right in tonight. So our oil of the night this evening is Hope oil. I told you most of the ones that I'm going to be picking are going to be emotional oils because this is a very emotional boot camp. We're going very deep into some really deep heart issues because that's usually the root cause and the root issue why people are not picking up what you're putting down and they're not feeling that authenticity off of you is because they're feeling fear and they're feeling grief and they're feeling terror in some cases. If you have to talk to strangers, they're feeling all of those feelings that you're feeling and they're not relating to you. And so we're going to dig pretty deep in this boot camp to get to some of those heart issues and give you a good skill set so you feel like you can confidently talk to friends of friends and even to your warm market and people that you know. So our oil tonight is Hope oil. And let me give you just a little bit of training on hope. Young Living calls this oil a hug in a bottle, which I love that explanation because it really is just an absolutely beautiful oil. It is an optimism oil. So if you find your mind and your tongue always going to that place of negativity, this is an oil that just draws that out of you and says, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not who God created you to be. You were this happy 2-3-year-old toddler running around, a little sprite getting into everything. You weren't walking around speaking death over yourself all the time. That's not the way that I made you. And so it's just a beautiful oil. And no matter how much we try to avoid it, this is off Young Living's site, everyone faces moments of hardship and heartbreak. During these difficult times, the most important thing is to never lose hope. So no matter how thick the darkness gets, there's always light ahead. You heard my story last night, and that was my low of my low of my low. It was the point where I was like, okay, I can't mom anymore. I literally, physically, mentally, spiritually, relationally, in every way possible, cannot do the things I need to do to be a good mom. And I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. I wanted to hand that job off to somebody else because I felt like because I was putting so much time into one thing in my life that I was dropping the ball on everything else. And so when you get to those really, really dark, deep, difficult times, this is a wonderful oil. Just get it in your diffuser. Just breathe it in. You guys know that when you drop oils on your skin topically, they have a physical effect on the human body. It's the same thing with emotions. Exact same thing. You're gonna breathe that oil in. It's gonna hit those olfactory sensors in the top of your nose. Your nose is gonna go, whoa, and then it's gonna hit the bloodstream. It's gonna cross the blood-brain barrier. Those oils will have access to the limbic lobe of the human brain, and they do enact change. They do amazing things to the human body. They can lower your stress hormones. There's many, many things that they can do that just kind of take your body from here to here. So it's like, whew, get some hope in your diffuser tonight. Drop some on the crown of your head, but this is one of my favorite diffuser oils, especially when my mind is just in the gutter. It's just not in a good place. So no matter how thick that darkness gets, there's always a light ahead, and that light might feel very, very faint, but it's still there. You got to look for it. With this kind of understanding, you can overcome almost anything. Hope Essential Oil is there to gently support you on that journey with a comforting and calming blend of oils, including Melissa, Juniper, Myrrh Essential Oil. It's just a beautiful blend. So my favorite way to use it is to diffuse it. A little bit more on Hope Oil. You guys know I gave you that homework assignment where you had to look some things up. So I looked in multiple reference guides on this one to get a little bit more on it. It's specifically blended to give us hope for the future on a mental and a spiritual and an emotional level. So if you're truly at the place in your business where you're like, I've been doing this a while, Sarah, it's not working. Like Unstuck Bootcamp is my last straw. Then I'm probably going to go back to my 9-to-5 job. I'm going to let this thing go. I'm not sure I have it in me to do this network marketing thing. Maybe I just don't have the right personality. Maybe I just don't have the right time. Maybe it's just not a good season in my life to be doing this kind of a business right now. But here's the thing. If it's not a good season in your life, that means that you're overextended, right? You're hyperextended. You've hyperextended your emotions, your body, physically, relationally, and you don't end that until you turn around and you go the other direction. This business is the other direction. Right? So my goal tonight is just to sprinkle that little bit of hope on your face and say, listen, it's not about your personality. It's not about how electric you are. It's not about how loud you are. It's not about the thousands of friends that you have all over the place. It's about loving people. And if you can keep it on that level and even just love one person at a time, you have what it takes to be able to grow this business if you can care about another human being. We're going to train very thoroughly over the next 20 days on what exactly that looks like. But it starts with hope. You have to get to a place where you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to take the doubt and the fear and the things in my head. I'm going to put them on a shelf. And for 20 days, I'm going to give this all I got. I'm going to do the homework assignments. I'm going to do the reading. I'm going to stay plugged in on this thing. And I'm going to give this 110% because I have to have a way out. Like where I am right now, it's not getting me where I need to be. And I can't hold out where I am very long, which means my options are drown or swim for the shore. And I'm choosing to swim for the shore. I'm not going to stay where I am, which means I might need to learn some new skills. I might need to do some things that scare me. I might need to step past fear a little bit. I might need to remember how to hope again. I knew how to hope when I was a toddler, and I knew how to hope when I was in elementary school, and I had a ton of hope when I graduated high school, but somehow I lost that somewhere along the way and became this person that lives in fear. And I'm going to have to shelve that if I want to be able to get to freedom, because staying where I am is not going to work. It's not going to work, right? So hope is blended to give you hope for the future. It's to get you thinking forward. The reason you don't have hope is because you're focused on right now. You're focused on all the things going wrong, all the things you can't do, all the things you're afraid of, all the skills you don't have, all that you're sizing yourself up against everybody else and their speed and their pace and their gifts and their talents. And guys, that's not how you build this thing. It's not, you're looking the wrong way. You got to look forward and not at all the things you think that you cannot do. And so hope is going to connect you with your core strength. It helps you ease stress, helps you ease despair, and it moves you forward with optimism and inner power. Maybe you're not in a place of despair. I know I was in a place of despair when I was on that hill. When I was telling you the story about my son, I was in a place of despair when I wanted to drive forward and go right off of that cliff. I'm not in a place of despair right now, and I haven't been in a place of despair for several years, but I know what despair feels like, and I know what it feels like to be stuck and to not feel like I've got a way out. I don't have a path forward in, paying off debt or getting out from under the stress ball that I'm underneath. And so hope oil is just a great oil for when you're in that place. When we feel like we're stuck and we can't move forward, it's really hard to look at our day and start planning for the future because we're just focusing on what's going on right now. With Hope Essential Oil, we can release those feelings and we can embrace life again. We can start focusing on life. So you can use it when you're going through a stressful transition. You can use it for a negative situation or a life challenge. And the homework assignments I'm giving you, these are going to be pretty intense, especially if you're working through the workbook. So it's very effective too for releasing irritation. If you're just mad at the people around you, you're like, come on, stop. You're angry, or you're recovering from the effects of emotional distress or patterning. You're just done. This oil is really, really, really good for you. So those of you that did the workbook last night, and you can just jump in and throw some comments out because I do go back and I reread these. So I might not respond to it while I'm on the live video, but I will go back and take a look at some of your comments and I'll respond to some of them. On a given boot camp night, we'll have 3,000 or 4,000 comments in one video. So I just kind of pop in and grab some and pop in and grab some. But tell me right now some of the things that make you unique. What are some of the things that are just special about you that might attract people to you, that they might really enjoy? And it might be something that you do. It might be something that you're good at. It might just be your love of animals, or your love of people or kids, grandkids. I'm weird because I'm a radio news anchor, so that's just kind of a weird skill, writing, that kind of thing, theater background. And then another thing that we did last night is we stacked up our job against Young Living. This is a really important exercise, really important, because I want to get your head out of this place of contentment and stepping back and saying, no, wait a second. Like, wait a minute. I can't do this 9-to-5 thing forever. Trisha says, I love doing taxes. Trisha, that's jacked up. I could use your help. I love it. Demi says, my workbook will be here tomorrow. I can't wait. Carol says, I love being with and meeting new people and talking to them. Maureen says, the ability to talk to people I don't even know. I've got a really welcoming smile. Kyla Sotomayor says, I have a gift with people. Kyla, I know you. And yes, you do have a gift with people. I love hearing all these gifts and talents. That's going to be the foundation that you springboard off of when you're connecting with the people around you relationally. Some of these talking points you're giving me right now, those are your strengths that I want you to use when you're crafting your personal story. And when you're talking to strangers, these are the points of connection that you're going to use to be able to relate to them. So remember this assignment because we're going to need a little bit later on. Stacking up your job next to Young Living and making a pros and cons list. Now, this was hard for me to do when I first did it because I love my job. I love anchoring. I don't like getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I love anchoring news. I love the thrill of the performance, turning that microphone on, talking to 5 million people. I loved the nature of what I did for work. However, it made me a very tired mom. I wasn't a present mom. I was physically depleted. I was having health issues because I couldn't be all things to all people. And it was very, very stressful to try to juggle that and those hours with homeschooling kids all day long. And so I had to take something that I really loved and put it in a box. Well, what am I going to replace it with? Am I going to go get a job at Chick-fil-A? Am I going to go back into teaching and put my kids into school, even though the Lord had really called me to be home with my children, especially our son that was autistic? So what are my options if I'm going to leave my job? I didn't have a way out. And I love my job and I didn't want to lose my job, but I also knew that I couldn't keep juggling everything that was on my plate because I was dropping stuff. And that's when Young Living entered in. And so when I made my list of the two side by side, one of my cons for my job was the hours of the job, the stressful nature mentally of writing that many newscasts in such a short period of time. I mean, you can't go to the bathroom, you can't, get a drink of water. You're literally typing 120 words a minute for 6, 7, 8 hours straight. It's crazy. The pace is very stressful. So when you leave, you're mentally depleted. Now, how do I take that body and walk into a home filled with children that just woke up, that want to see their mama so bad? It means I've got a short fuse. I'm snippy. I've got one kid who pokes at all the other kids, and I'm breaking up fights. And I just couldn't be the best mom that I needed to be. And so one of my whys for Young Living was being a present mom. So tell me some of your things, that pros and cons. What's a perk of Young Living that your current job just doesn't have right now? Something that's really going to bless you. And I mean, one of the obvious ones is the income is crazy. It definitely put us into a totally different income bracket and blessed us financially. And that's not something that falls from the sky. And you guys know that. It takes rolling up your sleeves and doing things that maybe you're not very comfortable doing. But through that action of connecting with human beings, you're helping human beings. And so it's so worth it. So worth it. All right. So did you enjoy drawing off your Royal Crown Diamond budget yesterday in the workbook? That was really fun. It's like, I'd be debt-free in 1 month. I'd pay off my house in 2 months, right, with a Royal Crown Diamond. Then what do? I can tell you, John and I, we love philanthropy. And so when my husband retired, he just became a full-time philanthropist. So he spends, 30, 40 hours a week sitting down and going through and looking at different organizations that we love to give to and people that we love to help. And that's actually like a full-time job to be able to do those things. So I always love to see your budgets and the dreams that the Lord has laid on your heart and where he wants you to go. I gave you the homework of getting out your reference guide and getting out your catalog. Now, if you didn't have the workbook, you could still do this exercise, which was pretty awesome. And I wanted you to learn something new about your oils, especially the oils from the Essential Rewards order this month, because then you can pass that information along to your team and educate your team in the things that you've learned. When you forget to play, then you don't have stories to share with other people. So tell me something right now that you learned about your oils, whether it's something on ER or whether it's something that you were playing with. Tell me something that you were like, whoa, I had no idea that it did that. That's crazy. I looked at my reference guide and went, dude, that's awesome. Now I'm going to try using the oil for these things. So today we're going to cover 3 chapters, and I've got 12 minutes to do it. I can totally do this. We're going to cover 3 chapters because I'm basing it on the length of the chapter, not the number of chapters. So you're going to see it kind of broken up a little weird and a little differently, and that's okay. It means that I'm trying to save space for some of those heavier, longer chapters for you guys to be able to get it in. So we're going to take a look at the state of stuck and Mojo Method number 1 and Mojo Method number 2. Now, one of the things that I love about this chapter is the opposite section, because even as a diamond, I find that my head sometimes will just slip into the muck, especially if my OGV's been holding for 6 months, 8 months, is not moving, and my head just goes to those negative places. What I want you to do is write down the opposite of what you truly believe about your business. And you know how to do this. So write down, I can't believe I'm not making silver. My one leg won't get over, and I'm just so frustrated with the leaders on that team. Or I'm so frustrated that I can't seem to get anybody to come to a class. I keep asking and asking and asking. Why won't my sister sign for a kit? Like, what is am I so bad at talking to people about oils that even my own sister won't sign up for a starter kit? So all those things that you hear in your mind, I want you to write it down. And then you're going to write the exact opposite. This was an exercise that we did in Game Plan, and it was so valuable and helped literally millions of people, so many people, that I really, really want you to get in the habit of doing that exercise all over again, okay? So write down the opposite of what you truly believe, because it's just going to help erase some of those myths in your mind and bring you back to that place of hope. Writing down that opposites list and diffusing hope, it's like, whoa. Anne says, oh my gosh, I looked up Clary Sage and I couldn't wait to share all the benefits that it had. Isn't it exciting when you find that fire again? It's almost like when you're reading the Bible, you're going to find places where you fall away from your faith, and then you get closer again, and then you fall away, and then you get closer again. Well, you find it's the times that you're not reading. I find it's almost exactly the same thing with oils. In those moments where I'm not reading about the oils and I'm not learning new things and I'm not putting new things in my head, I don't have things to share. I have fewer stories. I have fewer fire, fewer passion, and I'm distracted. Right? I'm not doing the things that are actually going to grow my business. So I'm just going to take a little piece out of the State of Stuck chapter. If you have your book with you, you can open up to page 19 and we'll take a look at it. And we're going to talk about saturation for a minute, because this is something that I hear so much about. The myth is the market is saturated. Everybody I know is already doing oils. Everybody I know has already said no. All my friends have signed somebody else. I'm too late. I don't know anybody. These are the things that I want you to write the opposites down of, so that you're not believing these lies, right? The reality is that if you step outside your door and you see, you know what I'm going to say, you see humans, then you can do this business. You can build it. So let's knock these things out and get your mind in a place where you're ready for growth. Let's look at facts instead of living in the land of doubt. And I just eat this chapter up. It's such a good chapter. So here we go. I'm just going to give you facts so that you're not lost. Young Living has 6 million active distributors globally. There are 300 million people in the United States. So if a room was filled with 300 people, only 6 of them would not have a starter kit, and 294 or 6 that have a starter kit, 294 would not have a starter kit. That's if every distributor in Young Living lived in the United States, which isn't true. So that tells me that saturation is a myth. The actual problem is that you keep asking the same circles of friends. So get outside of your circle and get outside of your comfort zone, because that's where the Lord can really start to use you. 294 out of 300 is pretty good odds. So we also know that the average person knows about 2,000 people by the time they're 20 years old. You're like, what? I didn't even think so. But if you were to carry your workbook around and really list all the people that you know, like that you, even acquaintance level, that you, even non-acquaintance level, like gas station clerks and stuff, if you were to make a list of all those people, you would be blown away at how long the list is. So you might be thinking to yourself that there's no way that you know that many people, but just start tracking it, all right? And then you have to master the art of talking to people that you don't know super, super, super well. And we're going to train very heavily on that. So make sure you stick with all of boot camp. There are 9 billion people on the earth. That's a lot of possibilities. So I'm going to talk you through the art of relationship building, and we'll go through it step by step in a very, very simple way. And you're going to follow in the paths of the people before you that have sold starter kit after starter kit by building relationships that lead to essential rewards. If you stick with the basics and you do them over and over and over and over again, they work. You're about to get unstuck. So my strategy, you want to hear exactly what I did that got me to silver in 12 weeks. I went back and I looked at my team. I looked at everything, and I looked at exactly what I did between July of 2014 and October 2014 when I ranked up. And this is, I'm going to tell you step by step. It's the only time in the book where I outline exactly what I did that got me to silver rank, okay? So how did I build? The very first thing that I did was I signed my family. Anybody that was willing, whether they were an aunt, uncle, second cousin, whoever, anybody that was willing to listen. And I would just ask him, hey, how's your health doing? Oh, yeah, well, I got my shoulders really sore, and, I got this big old zit on my face, and I keep having a cough over and over and over again. I don't even know what's up with that. And I say, hey, you know what? I don't really know about that, but here, I do have a thieves cough drop. Why don't you try that? I have some Young Living acne cream up in my room. Let me go grab that, and you just take it for a week and just, put it on the spots that are bugging you nuts, and let's just see how you feel. I would work with them to get them their wow moment so that they got excited about oils too. And the minute they have that wow open, that door is wide open for you to be able to get them signed up, get them on Essential Rewards, train them in the core 4 classes, oils, thieves, Ningxia, savvy. You're going to hear me say that over and over and over and over and over again in this boot camp, because most of the people on your team have been trained in 1 class. Maybe they came for 2. I was blown away by how many of my silvers hadn't had a thieves class, like a formal thieves class. I have 61 silvers on my team, and more than half of them had never actually had a class on thieves. They knew about Thieves Cleaner, they knew about the products in the VO, but they actually hadn't been trained on where thieves came from, what it was, why it worked, the science behind it. Like, it's pretty crazy. And when you educate people, then they're going to go for the whole thieves line. They're like, shoo, all right, well, I'm going to swap out this and swap out this and swap out this, because it all goes back to that basic foundational block of education. So the first thing that I did when I was building to silver was I signed up my whole family, because I wanted them at the tops of my legs to carry them with me. So my mom is almost a platinum. My sister is a gold. My sister-in-law is a gold right now. My brother is an executive. And so, it's because they got carried with me. As I'm building my organizations, I got to sign people somewhere. So I just sign them in sets of 2 under my mom, right? Sign them in sets of 2 under my sister. Doesn't mean that they're going to build the business, but they'll spend 100 PV. They'll get excited about the oils. And I only sold kits to the people that really expressed an interest when I first started talking. So my father doesn't have a kit. My other sister doesn't have a kit, but then the other half of my family is like raking in the dough, sitting at high ranks, because they jumped on the bandwagon right at the beginning. So I sign all the people that will listen. Then the second step that I did was I signed my friends. So I went through and I was like, all right, who are the people that are closest to me? Who do I see every single day? Who can I ask where they are in their health journey? Who are the people that are just a little bit distant? So the moms that I see at the basketball games, and we sit there while our kids are playing and we talk for 3 hours at a time. Those people that I have relationships with, the women that are in my small group at church that I see regularly, that I have a bond with, that foundation of relationship is already there. I go for the easy people first, because it's easy for me to turn and say, oh, hey, how's your rotator cuff doing? Oh man, I heard that, your whole house got hit with the flu. How are you guys doing? That conversation's easy to have when that relationship is already built. So the second thing I did was I saw my friends. So my team went from 6 people to 27 people to 66 people to 128 people the month that we hit silver. And that was because I was signing my family and I was signing my friends. Okay. So, that was the next thing I did. Then this is the secret. Right, this is the real secret after that. Then I tapped into the friend circles of every single person that they knew. That's so important. We have an entire chapter just on friends of friends and exactly what that looks like. So when that feels like that dries up momentarily and you don't really have any friend circles to tap into, it's not really drying up. It's just your mindset. You got to get that hope oil going in the diffuser again, and then start with your semi-warm market and meet their needs. Meet their needs. Be their solution. You're going to hear me say this so many times in boot camp. The reason that people don't show up for classes, the reason they don't get kits, the reason they don't get on Essential Rewards, they don't know that they need oils. They are not aware of it, all right? They have to have a reason. So you did an exercise last night by looking things up to train your people how to do that. And in boot camp, I'm going to train you how to be the solution finder. You're going to develop eyes for people that need help, and you'll be the answer that they're looking for, because when you have answers, you have kit sales. And when you have kit sales, you have Essential Rewards. But most importantly, you have relationships. And that goes farther than anything else. Your doubt is disassembling his work. Right? Your doubt and disbelief is disassembling and unraveling the work that the Lord wants to do in you, through you, across from you, as you pour out into the people in your circle that only you can reach. So those are my highlights out of the State of Stuck chapter, but it comes down to the message is always about meeting the need. It's not about being outgoing, Patty. Patty says you're way more outgoing than a lot of us. It's not about that. It's about loving people. So listening to them, having an eye to see those needs around you. You know, if somebody fell down, you read this a little later in Unstuck, but if somebody fell down in the grocery store, we just say, oh, somebody fell down and it's an old lady. I'm just going to walk away because I'm too scared to bother her. No, you would walk up and you'd help the woman back up. And if she dropped things, you'd pick them up and you put them in her cart and you'd ask her if you need her to go get some help. Does she need help to her car? Does she need help with anything? You'd offer to push her cart for her. If you had Cool pain cream, you might whip some of that out and put it a little on her ankle or on her knee or wherever she fell, right? You wouldn't just walk away and ignore her. So you got to get to that place where you're more concerned about them than you are your fear. Their needs and desires and things that they need answers for are bigger to you than your fear. And then that's going to help you to stand on top of it and talk to them. All right. And talk to them. So your doubt is disassembling its work. Mojo method number 1. So we're going to hit on 4 mojo methods. We'll do 2 tonight and 2 tomorrow night. And I'm going to wrap this up right after the mojo methods. But let me just tell you first what a mojo method is. This is the next chapter. What on earth does it mean? It's like a quick start training guide. So if you're a red personality or you're a blue that doesn't want to read a really big book, this is your quick start training guide to the book. Like you want to see results right now, not on day 20. You can apply these 4 mojo methods. And these are ways of pulling you out of that place where you feel stuck. Because the reality is, if it's been a while since you've had a kit sale, your mojo is like, it's not doing very good, right? But you have just one kit sale, just one person that gets a kit from you. It's like, I'm a superstar, right? I'm a superstar. I'm amazing. I can do anything. Even if the kit sale that you have is not even in your gift side or your way of sharing, you're still going to feel super, super good about that kit sale. So what I want you to do is position yourself in a place where it makes that kit sale easy. All right, makes it easy. So mojo method number 1 is warm market. No matter how many times you tell me you've signed everybody you know, there is still somebody that you have not signed that you would cry if they're not on your team. There's somebody out there that you have not signed up yet. So your first question isn't, hey, I'm doing a boot camp right now and I really want to get to my next rank, so would you buy a starter kit? Guys, right? No, that's not how you build the relationship with people, right? Because that conversation's about you. You don't want the conversation to be about you. You want to keep the conversation off of you as much as you possibly can. Instead, the conversation's about them. So you pick up the phone and just say, hey, how are you? Talk to me. What's been going on in your life? I haven't heard from you in forever. How are you feeling? I know you had problems with XYZ before. How is that going? All right, you put the attention on them and you tap back into your warm market. Go look at that list that you're going to be drawing up of all those people that you know and who's the person on there. You're like, you know what? I'm pretty sure that if I invest in that relationship, I think that they would get a kid. I want you to start with that easy person, build the relationship, and then be the solution that they're looking for. Be that solution finder for them. Point them in the right direction. They just need their wow moment with oils. Your job isn't to create fire in them. Your job is to get them to the wow moment. The oils will do the work for you. All right, you just got to get the person to the oil. And the way that helps is by listening to their needs. I want you to keep that number 2,000 in your head because it's not about who you know. It's not about who you know. It's not even about who your friends know. All right, it's who your friends of friends know. That's how I built to silver. I signed my family, I signed my friends, and then the explosion, that 60 people on my team to 128 was friends of friends of friends. It was who my friends know. So the next diamond on your team might end up being your best friend's mom, sister's cousin. And that's okay, all right? Because they're a diamond on your team. Like, hello, 250,000 OGV, right? But you have to sign your best friend, and you got to teach to her mom to reach her sister's cousin. That doesn't happen unless you're tapping into friends of friends of friends, right? You got to tap into friends of friends of friends. So tonight is making a list night. Make a list of every single person that you know. Seriously, like every person you can think of. Every name on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, your Christmas card list, wedding invites list from a decade ago, your address book, people in the cubicles next to you at work, every single name in your cell phone, your small group at church, parents of your kids' friends in sports, friends where you volunteer, the teller at the bank, the gas station lady, all right, that you see every single day, the lady at the post office. You're going to be just shocked at how many people you do know. And then what I want you to do is just start the conversation. You're not even going to talk about oils. Just open up the dialogue. Stop mentally crossing people off the list before they make the list. Don't even oil them up. Just talk. Okay, just talk to them. So chapter 5, Mojo method number 2. So method number 1 is warm market. I want you guys to work on somebody that you just need to build a relationship with. Okay, or you already have a relationship and you really want them on your team. So I want you to ask them what their health struggles are. I want you to ask them how they're feeling. I want you to ask them what's going on in their home. I want you to ask them about their stress level. I want you to ask them all the things and then listen to them. If the door is open for you to offer an oil, then offer an oil. But if it's not, then just wait and keep building that relationship with them. That's a really good way to get a very fast kit sale. Mojo method number 2, this is chapter number 5, is the famous purple bag. So I'll put a picture up when I'm done with this of what purple bags look like, but they're very, very simple. 80% of your business is just being prepared. It's just having tools on you when you're speaking to people and hanging out with people, because tools can say a lot more than you can say in a very small space. So in my purple bags, little organza bag from Amazon, I put in a 101 or a toxin-free life CD, because remember I told you the way people are listening now is podcasts. They're listening to digital media. They're listening audio. Podcast viewers are way, way higher than print media, than any other form of media being consumed out there. So, give them a CD so they can listen to it when they're in the car. Give them a photo of the starter kit. Discover LSP. Life Science has wonderful photos, flyers. There's some great flyers out there that just has pictures of the starter kit. I put a cover sheet in mine. It says, "You've just been the recipient of the famous purple bag," right? So what's in the purple bag? Put your contact information in there. I put the little Fearless book inside as well, because Fearless is going to train them on the lifestyle, why oiling matters so much. It's going to get their fire going. And then I always give the business opportunity to every person that I talk to. So I also put the Game Plan Mini in the purple bag too. If you put that little bag in somebody's hand, in a 101 class, in the hand of a total stranger, in the hand of somebody that you're following up with, in the hand of somebody that's attending a Core 4 class, a friend of a friend of a friend, and you meet their need. Remember, 80% of their business is just being prepared. So I've been doing purple bags for about 3 years now since Game Plan. These little bags that I just assemble myself. I sit down one afternoon at the start of the month, solicit my children, and we just make up a bunch of them, and I keep a couple in my purse, couple in the van. I've been doing it for 3 years, and I'm still averaging 6 to 8 kit sales a month. 6 to 8 using them. They work. But I don't just drop it in their hands like a bomb. I build the relationship. My husband saw this t-shirt online. This is a Total Rabbit Trail. And it said, "My wife isn't fragile like a flower. She's fragile like a bomb." I was like, nailed it, right? Totally. That's him laughing, right? It's so true. So don't just drop the purple bag in their hand like a bomb, right? You got to build the relationship with them, hear the need, meet the need, say, "I think this is the answer that you've been looking for," and then leave them the tool, right? Because the tool says this much in this much space. You can't say all those things to the Walmart clerk as you're checking out. You can't say all those things as you got 5 people sitting in your class and 3 are getting up to walk out the door and the class is over. So you put tools in their hand because it's going to funnel them to more information. Every major network marketer out there uses really, really good tools, right? So I just say, "I think this is the answer that you have been looking for," and I put it in their hands and I leave them the tools. It's going to train the why of oiling, right? Get them start swapping things out of their cabinets. The Mini gives them financial hope, and both of them point to oiling. So I'll put a link to purple bags up as soon as I'm done with this video, and it shows you exactly how to assemble them. All right. So both of these methods work if you're in a rut. I sell starter kits on trains, on buses, on airplanes, just sitting there. Matter of fact, my last 30 starter kits have all been people that I've traveled with when I've been speaking and stuff. So have the tools on your person so that when that opportunity arises and you have found something that they are interested in working on, you can put something in their hands and say, "Hey, this is how you can learn more and this is how you can contact me. I'm going to invest in you because you're worth investing in, because I think this is the answer you've been looking for," right? So those are our 2 Mojo methods. Somebody asked where the earlier chapters went. We covered them last night. So we did chapters 1 and 2 last night. We did 3, 4, and 5 tonight. So the homework. My favorite part of the night. I love assigning you guys homework. Did you like the workbook homework last night, guys? It's not every day that you get to check out an author's armpits to my workbook users. This training is legit. Yes, my armpits are in the workbook assignments from last night. There are no armpits tonight, I promise. If you're afraid to open your workbook today, no more armpits. You're all right. But I am going to have you building your warm market, and I'm going to have you assembling a purple bag. So today, between today and tomorrow, I want you to pop into your Unstuck book and read chapters 3, 4, and 5. And do the worksheets for chapters 3, 4, and 5. And And the goal for today and tomorrow is just to get you moving, to get you back to a single kit sale. Stop looking at the goal of silver with 10,000 OGV or the goal of gold with 35,000 OGV. I want you just to focus on one kit sale between now and the end of the week. One person that you've already been dropping hope onto, one person that you already have a relationship built, one person that's already your friend that isn't signed to your team yet. And you're just like, oh, I just really need to have that conversation with them, because you don't want to get a phone call saying, hey, I just signed up for Young Living under so-and-so, and it's not you, right? So I want you this week just to focus on the number one. Don't look at the big, huge rank qualification chart. Just look at the number one, and that's what you're going to focus on to get back to that single kit sale so we can get your mojo back. Focus on the art of one people, not 100 people, not 100 calls today and 100 contacts you got to make tomorrow. That's word vomit on your warm market. So just focus on one. Who is that person? All right, you know who they are. You can think of them right now. And then start building that relationship with them. Text them. Find out what's going on with them. Love on them in that space. That's your starting place when it comes to rebuilding your fire. Because I promise you, you get that one kit sale between now and Friday, you're going to be like, oh, okay, yes, I'm in. Like, I remember how to do this. I remember, right? It's the foundation of everything is a relationship. So warm market, purple bags, it all goes back to that art of the relationship and meeting people where they are. All right, meeting people where they are. So you guys asked me about purple bags. I'm going to show you where they are on my website real quick so that you can find them. If I flip my camera around, if you go to share, all the stuff under the share button at oilabilityteam.com is free stuff. If you scroll down, you'll see purple follow-up bags. Just click on it. And it's going to tell you exactly how to assemble them. It's going to give you hyperlinks for where to find everything. There's even free printables where you can literally print out, and just stick right in front of your bag. It doesn't cost you anything. You just print it. You have been the recipient of the famous purple bag. What's inside, right? You can put your sponsor and a roller number down and how to order and all that, okay? It's right there on that page. So I just want to end with a quick little smidge of hope for you guys tonight, because that was the oil. And so that we've been studying. Get your hope oil out. You're going to put a little bit more of this up your nose. And I'm going to leave you with this quote from Barbara Kingsolver, because I just really liked it and it spoke to me. The very least that you can do in your life is figure out what you hope for. And the most that you can do is live inside that hope. Not admire it from a distance, but live right in it, under its roof. I want you guys to remember how to hope again. I want you to remember how you felt when that kit showed up on your door and the world seemed limitless. I want you to remember the first time you went to convention and watched the diamonds walk, or bumped into a diamond in a hallway that you had seen just only on Facebook. I want you to remember the first time you opened your reference guide and saw all those uses and got so excited, the new things that you could try. I want you to take your mind back to that place and remember how to hope again. And then focus on one. That's your homework assignment, all right? Douse yourself in hope oil. I love you guys. You did a great job. I'm going to go pick some winners for our contest, put up the link to the purple bags, and hop on tomorrow night. We're going to do this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever day you're doing it if you're not doing this live. We're going to start day 3 tomorrow and jump into the last 2 mojo methods. It's our quick start training guide to Unstuck before we start really pulling apart some mindset training and going very deep emotionally, all right? I love you. Thank you for getting on for the training tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Same bat time. Same bat channel. Bye.